Stupid stuff that I did as a kid and survived. A couple of clangers absolutely come to mind. Firstly, what would happen if I touched this 9-volt battery on my braces? My God.
Turn himself
That is
into
the
electro.
worst.
Holy hecker.
What would...
It's like having an electric chair in your mouth. What an idiot.
What would happen if I touched this 9-volt battery on my braces? Who would know? But it sure as hell doesn't tickle like it does when it touches your tongue. As a hint, this is in no way a suggestion to speed up loosening every tooth in your mouth or getting free electroconvulsive therapy. But as it turns out, that's exactly what happens.
Oh my God.
Other than that, sweet as. Second, cutting the tops off pine trees from the forest next door at 10 years of age to sell them as Christmas tree isn't a great business venture. Things you learn either at that point or as an adult. The tops of pine trees don't look like Christmas trees once they're cut off. Pine trees are tall once... Pine trees are tall once you're up them. The wind is stronger than it looks from up high.
Oh my God.
And tomahawks cut through your fingertips better than they do wood.
Oh.
Another thing, it's very hard to grip when your hands are covered in blood and half of your fingers are missing. And a bloody axe dropped from the top of a pine tree hits the ground before you can scream, watch out.
Oh my. This is a shambles.
Other than that, sweet as. Cheers, boys.
Tried it and survived it. Eating freshly fertilised dirt. Only took some panic from Mum and the trip to the hospital for some vitamin shots. Ooh. Guess what, guys? The photos got brought out 26 years later, naturally at my wedding in front of 130 people to see me buckled over from eating fertilised dirt.
I tried getting into the old man's shed. He put a lock up real high, so I stood on my trike handlebars, only for it to slowly wheel out from underneath me. Turns out the corrugated iron my thumb was hanging onto works like a knife. I still managed to have my thumb and a really good scar to show for it.
For those that don't know, the Manukau Harbour is one of the most treacherous harbours, if not the most treacherous harbour in New Zealand. Tried walking into the Manukau Harbour when I was 6. Turns out it gets pretty deep pretty quick.
My husband, when he was about 12, thought he'd ride his BMX down a hill that had trees spotted along the side. He thought it'd be really cool weaving in and out of them. He thought he'd try doing it with his eyes closed. He thought he'd get past the first one. He did. He thought he'd get past the second one. He didn't. Knocked himself out, pretty much ripped his ear off. Pretty sure there's more damage, but a very long stay in hospital.
Tried letting a quad bike ride me. Survived it, just... As kids, we used to run across the top of my grandma's overgrown kiwi fruit orchard. Some places were thinner than others, but we only fell a few times. Tried it, survived it.
It's like quicksand, they just disappear. Fell off a balcony, which was roughly 8 metres high at the end of January. Managed to break my back and crack my skull open. When the fire service crew heard the ambos coming, they told my friends to say goodbye because they wouldn't see me alive again. Was put into an induced coma and on life support for 4 days. The day after they woke me up, I ripped my catheter and my IV lines out and tried to escape the hospital. Spent 3 weeks there and then 3 weeks in the brain rehab unit. And the day my father picked me up, I knew it was twilight golf at my local club. So being the clever man I am, I told my man to make sure the clubs were in the car when he picked me up so we could go and have a whack before I headed home. In primary school, I got dared to jump from the playground tunnel. 10-year-old me accepted this challenge and thought, easy as. Guess what, fellas? That day I folded my leg in 3 places. I built him tougher and Wainuia Mata. Wainuia Mata. I like to fold my legs in half.
In half.